Welcome back to News Talk. Well, you've heard of Airbnbs, right? This is a way to book a room, an apartment, or a home for a short stay without the high hotel cost. You book directly with a homeowner, offering up a place for rent, and it's all done online. There is no middleman. It's a lot cheaper than a hotel, and this is how many millennials book their rooms these days. This week, the first comprehensive report card on Airbnbs was released, and here to tell us more about it is Vanessa Cinders, Senior Vice President of Government Affairs for the American Hotel and Lodging Association. Good to see you, Vanessa.
Thanks, Melanie.
Thanks for coming in. So this was a study, I understand it was done out of Penn State University, and it looked at Airbnb activity in the top 12 markets. Metropolitan market. D.C. was one of them.
D.C. was one of them.
What did you find?
Well, Melanie, let me start by talking about the hotel industry. Hotel industry, we thrive on competition each and every day on a legal and level playing field. From the largest global brands to independent properties to resorts to small bed and breakfast, we all pay taxes and abide by important safety and security standards to protect our guests and support our communities. And let me be clear, what we're here to talk about today, it's not about the occasional home share where a mom or grandma might rent out a room a couple times a year to make a little extra money. That's been going on for decades and is not our focus. But what the report did reveal, the troubling trend, is that on Airbnb, a growing percentage of their revenue is derived from full-time corporate landlords who are dodging taxes, skirting the law, and flouting safety and security standards. Nearly 30% of Airbnb's revenue came from those corporate landlords, and in addition to that, close to 40% of Airbnb's revenue came from multi-unit hosts, those operating multiple numbers of units.
So people are not just putting up one room in their house, they're putting up
yes.
Many units, and this happens repeatedly. So this is their business.
Yes.
What percentage of people are doing this?
Well, the report revealed again that 30% of Airbnb's revenue is derived from these corporate landlords that are, in essence, operating unregulated businesses and in some cases, illegal hotels.
And how much money is that is being taken away from perhaps the hotel industry that might have been?
Well, in the study, that 30% accounted for close to $400 million of Airbnb's revenue.
So obviously a concern.
Yes, so, and I would say that it's a concern. This is an issue that's playing out in cities and states across the country, and it's something that affordable housing advocates are concerned about because in large cities it has the potential to take important affordable housing off the market. Neighborhood groups, tenant groups, it can turn residential neighborhoods into a revolving door of strangers coming in and out of a building or condo or residential neighborhood.
Why do you think these properties that Airbnb books are so attractive to people?
Well, I would say hotel industry, we are all about the guest experience. We are constantly innovating and providing new services to our guests to make sure that we're providing the best guest experience, from boutique hotels to resorts to mobile check-in to being able to utilize your new Apple Watch, and so that's what we're focused on.
So people booking these properties, I mean, is it a unique property that they're booking? I mean, something that maybe they couldn't get through a traditional hotel, like a castle or an igloo? Or
I do think that there are those properties out there. That said, our study really did focus on an apples-to-apples comparison of rentals that were similar to hotels, and again, the story really showed that unlike what Airbnb might the story that Airbnb likes to tell about this being all about the mom and pop and the ability to make a little extra money. Instead, what the report revealed is a significant portion of their revenue is being driven by these unregulated commercial businesses.
Why should we be so concerned about the fact that it's not a regulated business?
Well, in hotels and the smallest bed and breakfast across the country, our members have to abide by safety and security standards to protect their guests, pay their taxes to support their communities, and we take that responsibility very seriously.
So it could be something as little as a smoke detector in a room, or a certain kind of a lock, or a sprinkler, or a stairway to exit in a fire. I mean, those are things that you think about regulations and hotels. And
yeah, we want to make sure that guests are protected. And I would say that, again, this is an issue that is playing out in cities and states across the country. Just yesterday, the U.S. Conference of Mayors had their winter meeting here in D.C., where hundreds of mayors from across the country were. We talked about this report with them to illustrate that this is a growing issue and something that, again, not just us, but many other community leaders, affordable housing advocates, and whatnot are concerned about and want to address.
So how concerned is the hotel industry about the emergence of these Airbnbs?
Well, as I started off by saying, we thrive on competition. We are probably one of the most competitive industries out there. We've been experiencing record growth. We welcomed more guests into our hotels last year than ever before. We've been on a tear of 5 years of growth. We support 2 million jobs. But we do believe that this is a public policy concern. We think that the data talking about this emergence of unregulated commercial operators is something that state and local governments need to think about.
So you're talking to us about it today, and we are the media, so yes, you're getting this word out. What else is the hotel industry doing to sort of combat this?
Well, I would go back to state and local elected officials first and foremost. Again, we spoke to the U.S. Conference of Mayors. There's a broad coalition of interest across the country in cities and states working on this issue, and I think that it's something that we're going to be increasingly talking about.
One of the things, I went online, I was looking at people's comments about their stays in Airbnb properties, and a lot of the complaints had to do with a lack of customer service. Some people were complaining that they have no recourse, nowhere to go when something goes wrong. Is that a concern of the hotel industry as well?
Yes, I mean, as I said before, the hotel industry, guest service is first and foremost to us. We take that responsibility very seriously, and that's a perfect example of something that you would find at a hotel. You would find that front desk attendants or concierge or whomever to make sure that you got what you needed, or if you had an issue or a safety and security concern, it was taken care of.
Another issue was that the owners on a whim could just back out of a booking, leaving the person renting the place maybe stranded and having to eat their airline cost at the last minute. The room could dry up.
I think that goes back to, again, what the report revealed is that there is a growing trend of these commercial unregulated businesses that are exploiting a loophole that does need to be addressed to address those exact issues.
And the other thing that it turned up was a lengthy, rather cumbersome verification process. When you're online and you're booking, it's all done online. It included IDs, photo IDs, personal information, dates of birth, addresses, etc. And then there was the Facebook accounts. It wanted access to Facebook accounts of people booking rooms. That seemed a little unusual to me.
Yeah, well, again, I can talk about the hotel industry where we take both the security of our guests and the privacy of our guests very seriously and make sure that we balance both those issues.
All right, so what do you think? People should be concerned about booking this way or not?
Well, I think that what people should be concerned about is what the report revealed, a growing trend of unregulated corporate landlords, commercial businesses that are flouting important safety and security standards, dodging taxes, and skirting the law, and the potential issues that has in your local community.
Vanessa Cinders is with the American Hotel and Lodging Association. Thanks for joining us. Interesting discussion today, Vanessa.
Thanks for having me.
And we'll be back with more News Talk in just a minute.